Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law.
You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Irvine Phillips is suing Alicia Brooks in the amount of $1,885. Mr. Phillips claims Ms. Brooks's son caused a chaotic scene at his son's birthday party, which resulted in a destroyed birthday cake and someone being injured. Ms. Brooks claims her son should not be blamed for the incidents that occurred at the party.
In the matter of Irvine Phillips versus Alicia Brooks, you're suing Ms. Brooks, Mr. Phillips, because you're alleging that her son injured your son at a child's birthday party.
Actually, Your Honor, her son injured my daughter.
Your daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
And what happened was I had a birthday party for my son this past September, and what happened was her son came to the birthday party and took a cell phone and ended up throwing it at my daughter's head, and I had to take my daughter to the hospital, and now I've got a big bill, and someone's got to pay for it.
So tell me the circumstances. I know you just didn't go to a party and all of a sudden a cell phone got held at your daughter's head.
No.
Something happened.
You're right. This was my son's 14th birthday party. He's very into soccer, so we invited all of his soccer team players to the game, and a lot of the people in the neighborhood, and Alicia's son Joshua, he was also invited, so we invited everyone that my son knew. About halfway through, there was a food fight with my son.
Okay.
And it wasn't a big deal because it was just like small food, no big deal. They were throwing food, and I stopped them because I thought it was ridiculous. I'm like, guys, you gotta knock this off. Next thing you know, her son takes this big, beautiful cake that we had made for our son. It was a big soccer ball cake because he's very into soccer. We paid a lot of money for this cake, and he starts just throwing it.
Whew, that
Next
took a
thing
lot.
you know, my daughter, well, the cake had ended up in my daughter's friend's hair, and there was all this kind of drama. She was screaming and yelling, and she was very upset.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter? Oh, she's 16. She's going on 17.
That's what I figured. It was a teenager yelling and screaming and upset.
And then all of a sudden, there was cake and a phone in my daughter's forehead.
Oh.
She had gotten hit by a cell phone on her forehead, and we had to stop the whole party. I had to take her to the ER, and the party was over.
What type of injuries did she suffer?
Well, she had 6 stitches on her forehead.
Wow, that was a big gash.
And she looks fine, but the thing is, it's expensive. We had to take her to the doctor.
So what did it cost you?
Well, I have the
You don't have
bill right
Obamacare,
here.
you don't have health insurance, you
Of
don't have
course,
any of that?
That is the Children's Hospital. I believe it's $1,700. And then there was this is for the cake that
Oh, your share is $1,700.
Exactly.
Wow, $1,760 to be exact. And the difference is the cost of the cake?
And the cost of the cake that her son ruined.
All right, $125 for the cake. What do you have to say, Ms. Brooks?
My son Joshua has autism.
Oh, okay.
Level 1 autism. So he's still functioning. He can still function. He does have outbursts, I guess you would call them.
How old is he?
He's the same age as Aaron. He's 14.
Okay.
And we go to the party, and we sat next to the cake because it just made him glow. He was just that happy. So that's where we
beautiful
sat.
soccer cake.
Yeah, giant soccer ball. It was gorgeous. So while we were there, I witnessed Annabelle, his daughter, and this girl, Ashley, the one who eventually got cake in her hair. They supposedly are friends, but there was a lot of tension, and I even saw them arguing a couple of times. So the food fight breaks out, as he mentioned. He stopped it, as he mentioned. Now, I helped his wife with some of the cleanup.
So you in the kitchen?
I wandered off to the kitchen to help with the cleanup. I hear people saying, oh, Joshua and oh, Annabelle, and something about cake being thrown, so I came back out. And I walked over to Joshua and I asked him if he had thrown the cake, and he just he was having one of his stimming moments.
Everybody saw.
What is the phrase called?
Stimming.
Stimmies, okay.
So like the stem of a rose.
Yeah, I got it.
And I asked him, and he had cake on his hands, and the cake had pieces taken out of it, and he didn't admit that he'd thrown the cake, but it
was obvious that he had done something with the cake.
had something to do with the cake.
Your Honor, everybody saw her son throwing the cake.
All right.
At this point, Ashley, the girl who got the cake in her hair, is flipping out, and she's blaming Annabelle, because Annabelle was right next to Joshua at the time. So she's decided, because apparently their friendship's a little rocky at the moment anyway, that Annabelle's doing it. She storms over to where me and Joshua are, and the next thing I know, she's throwing a phone at Annabelle.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
So you're saying Ashley threw the phone at
I'm
Annabelle?
saying Ashley threw the phone, and he's blaming my son for it because he didn't see it happen and just decided to blame the child with autism.
And later,
they had to cut like half of my, the infected part off. I was off of work for almost 2 weeks.
The infected part of what?
My toenail, the fungus part.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Irvine Phillips, who is suing Alicia Brooks for intentional harm.
So you're saying Ashley threw the phone at Annabelle?
I'm saying Ashley threw the phone, and he's blaming my son for it because he didn't see it happen and just decided to blame the child with autism.
And where were you when this was going on?
I was tending to the mess that the children made earlier.
So you were not watching the action between Annabelle and Ashley?
No, I saw the cake get thrown. Mm-hmm. I didn't actually see a phone get thrown.
But you automatically assume it was my son.
If a phone got thrown, you're telling me your daughter was hit with a phone?
Yeah, and the phone was on.
And you didn't see the phone get thrown?
But the phone was on the table right next to the cake.
Let me go back again. You didn't see the phone getting thrown?
I did not see the phone get thrown, but there was cake all over the phone.
I got that. If cake was in Ashley's hair and she's upset and she thinks it's Annabelle, all she has to do is touch her hair and say, oh my God, cake, get pissed, pick up her phone and throw it. How difficult is that to understand?
I'm just shocked that my daughter never said anything to me about that.
I know, but I'm shocked that you didn't inquire and didn't ask, or somebody start a little mini investigation and talk to all the kids that are around and try to figure out what happened.
Again, my daughter didn't tell me that Ashley...
You just automatically assume it's my son.
So who told you that Joshua did it?
Well, I mean, obviously, he had cake all over his hand.
So no one is your answer?
No one told me that.
Okay. The question is, who hit Annabelle with the phone? You didn't see it. No one told you it was it was Joshua. She's saying, I saw it. It was not Joshua. It was Annabelle.
Well, this is the first she's even brought this up to my attention.
Well,
Your
maybe
Honor.
that's because she had her defense ready when you come into court saying, pay me money. You got to have your evidence when you come to court and you don't know what the other side is going to say.
Well, the thing is, this is the first I heard that
First, last, in between, doesn't matter.
That Ashley...
You have insufficient evidence to establish that Joshua threw it. The fact that he had cake on his hand does not mean that he threw a cell phone. Does Joshua even own a cell phone?
No, Your Honor.
Who's likely to run around with cell phones? Teenage girls or a 14-year-old who has autism?
Well, Your Honor, there was a cell phone next to the cake. I'm not trying to be difficult here, Your Honor.
I'm not trying to be difficult
But you
either.
weren't there either. I'm just saying.
You got the wrong idea, baby boy. You're right, I wasn't there. You're doggone right, I wasn't there. And that's why you're supposed to bring me some evidence. Because you want me to decide something about something where I was not. Because I wasn't there, but you brought it to me to make a decision. So I'm the trier of fact. I believe her evidence. Judgment for the plaintiff in the sum of $125 for the cake. Judgment for the defendant on the issue of the medical bill. That's the order of the court.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $125.
Alicia, I'm very sorry that I accused your son of throwing that phone at my daughter's head. I really am.
Maybe next time you'll think twice before accusing someone just because they're different.
Coming up,
They had to cut like half of my, like the infected part off. I was off of work for almost 2
The
weeks.
infected part of what?
My toenail, the fungus part.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Elena Martinez is suing Weston Cho in the amount of $2,000. Ms. Martinez claims a pedicure at Mr. Cho's nail salon resulted in a nail fungus. Mr. Cho claims Ms. Martinez isn't a very clean woman and developed the fungus before stepping into his salon.
In the matter of Alana McPhee versus Weston Cho, this is the case of the bad pedicure, and you allege that he caused you to get a fungus at his salon.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we've heard plenty of these stories. Let me hear yours.
I was raised on a horse farm, and when I was about 15, a horse stepped on my toe and ended up growing kind of funny. So I've always been super self-conscious, especially growing up with boys. You know how mean they can be. So I think it was like my senior year of high school, I found out that you can get acrylics on your toes. So it boosted my self-confidence. So this one day in particular, I was on my way home from work and I had an appointment at the nail salon that I normally go to. But because of traffic, I missed my appointment. So Mr. Cho's is right down the road from my house. So I decided to walk over there. I frequent them when I can't get into my normal nail salon, right? I went and it was pretty busy. It was close to Valentine's Day weekend. My boyfriend had a weekend planned for us. We go and he starts working on my feet. He was very rough with it. I didn't say anything because I was in a hurry. I, had somewhere to be. So we finish up. My boyfriend and I go on vacation, and my toe's a little tender. It wasn't normal. I've been getting my nails done for years, and I know what to expect. And this was out of the normal. So it was a little sore to begin with, and then as the days passed, it got worse, like to the point where pulling bed sheets over my feet, if it touched it the right way, like sent excruciating pain through my body. So that weekend came. I ended up calling out of work on Monday, and it's really bothering me. I have to wear closed-toed shoes to work. I work at a printing press, so I'm walking around in closed-toed shoes, working all day, and I couldn't even come to put my tennis shoes on in the morning. So I went to the doctor, and come to find out I had a fungus infection they said what could have been from his nail salon.
No, he didn't tell you it was from his nail salon. He couldn't tell you that. He could tell you have a fungus.
Right, but derivative of, he asked me what I had done the past couple of days. I told him I went and got the salon. He said that could be a possibility, right? Either the way they cut
That could be a possibility.
Sterilization, the doctor named a couple different things. And then they had to cut like half of my, like the infected part off. I was off of work for almost 2 weeks.
The infected part of what?
My toenail, the fungus part. They had to surgically remove it.
Did they have to take off your entire toenail?
No, not the entire. There was maybe a quarter of it left, just by the cuticle, I suppose. I wasn't able to work for 2 weeks. The doctor said I wasn't allowed to have closed-toed shoes. I had to wear open-toed shoes, and recommended bed rest for it. So I'd like compensated wages, my medical bills, and also the pedicure covered.
Coming up,
I advised the plaintiff to go see a doctor or something, but then she insisted that I could help her to replace it with the new design.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Elena Martinez, who is suing Weston Cho for negligence.
And that all amounted to $2,000?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was it lost wages?
My lost wages were $13,1260, which I have one of my earning statements here. So that was for 2 weeks. That was a period that I lost. Sure. And then the rest of them is the receipt for the transaction, and then also my medical bills.
When you left the salon, how were your toes?
It was tender, but it wasn't, sometimes they can get rough with it, so I figured, hey, let's wait it out a couple days and see if it goes away.
Let me hear what you have to say, Mr. Cho.
I've been running this new business for 12 years now, and we have no issues or complaints whatsoever.
Okay,
So,
did you do her toenails?
yes, Your Honor.
So tell me about that experience.
Yes, on that date in question, when she arrived she insisted that I attended to her because she had previous issues before that. All the other manicurists didn't want to attend to her because we had to put in extra effort in removing the dirt in her nails. And she's very unkempt and unclean. And also, as I was filing her fingernails, she used a dark red polish to camouflage her nails. And as I was filing her, she was like a little bit jumpy and like in pain, and I asked her, what's the matter? And then she kept on insisted that I continue and to also replace her fake tail nail polish with acrylic polish too.
What was going on with her toes?
Yes, she kept on insisting that she wanted our latest popular design because it was the best designs so far in the market. And I've been providing this to a lot of my customers.
What's the latest popular design? What she want?
She wanted that red color with the eccentric design that is personally painted and handcrafted by me. I noticed,
as you were doing the pedicure, what did you observe about her toes?
as I was filing her toenails, I observed some blacks around the corners and some discoloration.
So isn't that a sign to you that something may be wrong?
Yes, I advised the plaintiff to go see a doctor or something, but then she insisted that I could help her to replace it with the new design.
Oh, so you saw that there was a problem, that she may need to go see a doctor, but yet you continue to do it.
She just insisted that she wanted the new design.
I got that. You know, I was with you, Mr. Cho, until you said I noticed discoloration. And I noticed black and around the toe. And she insisted and wanted to get it done and wanted you to put acrylic on top. But you're the professional.
Yes,
and if it appears that something is wrong, obviously it did, because you advised her, your testimony, that she should go see a doctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
So when it appears that something is wrong with a person's toenail or fingernail or whatever, as a professional, you shouldn't do anything to it, because you know that if you do anything on top of it, that you would get accused of the beginning.
No,
or you could aggravate whatever was already there.
Your Honor, it was very mild because majority of my customers...
Okay, so it was mild, but you made it worse.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
And when you open your mouth to say, I recommend you to see a doctor, I mean, that was like a light bulb. You should have sent her out of there and said, I cannot do this because you need to see a doctor. But so if you did it, no. You told on yourself.
After I file off the
Oh, you're not listening.
nails...
I'm wasting my breath. I'm wasting my breath. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $2,000.
I hope you learned your lesson in caring for your customers more than the next dollar, because this could have been a lot worse.
No, I stand by my salon, and the hygiene problem is you, and you're not welcome at my salon anymore.
This has been a production of Entertainment.